The Vanguard drifted closer to the shimmering anomaly, the faint pulse of energy reflecting off the ship's hull. Commander Alina Rourke remained in the command chair, her gaze steady yet alert. The mystery of the disappearing fleets had transformed from a terrifying enigma into a challenge, one she intended to solve. Lieutenant Tarek Silva monitored the energy patterns, his fingers flying over the controls. "Commander, the anomaly's pulse is changing. It seems deliberate. The waves are not random. They follow a sequence almost like a signal." Alina leaned forward. "A signal, you mean? It could be trying to communicate?" Dr. Leora Chen, the science officer, nodded. "It's possible. I've run comparisons with known cosmic phenomena. This is different. It's structured, purposeful. Something or someone is sending this pattern intentionally." The crew exchanged glances, a mixture of excitement and tension in their expressions. None of them had ever encountered anything like this. Humans were explorers by nature, but encountering an intelligence that could manipulate space itself was beyond anything they had imagined. Alina's voice carried calm authority. "We'll proceed with caution. I want the probe deployed again, but this time it should record everything. Gravitational changes, energy fluctuations, any electromagnetic signals. We cannot afford to miss a single detail." The probe slipped from the ship smoothly, moving toward the anomaly like a small, silent scout. The crew watched the live feed on the main screen. The shimmering curtain of energy shimmered more brightly, and for a brief moment it seemed almost alive, waving gently as if it were aware of their presence. Suddenly, a subtle pulse ran through the probe's sensors. Tarek's console flashed rapidly. "Commander, the probe is receiving something. A coded sequence. It's not just energy, it's structured information. I think it's a message." Alina's eyes widened. "A message? Can you decode it?" Dr. Chen adjusted her glasses, scanning the incoming data. "It's difficult, but I can attempt a preliminary translation. The sequence is complex. It appears to be a series of mathematical patterns, almost like a language built on logic and repetition." Alina nodded. "Start decoding immediately. Every second counts." Hours passed as the crew worked tirelessly. The anomaly pulsed and shimmered outside, and the Vanguard stayed within a safe distance, shielded from any sudden energy surges. Slowly, patterns began to emerge. Prime numbers, sequences of Fibonacci, basic mathematical operations. These were the building blocks of the message. Dr. Chen's voice broke the silence. "Commander, I think I understand. This intelligence is testing us. The disappearances of the fleets, they were experiments. Each vanishing fleet was a controlled observation. They wanted to see how we respond, how we handle uncertainty and danger." Alina's mind raced. "So it's not hostile, it's curious about humans." Dr. Chen nodded. "It seems so. But we must be careful. Curiosity from an advanced intelligence does not mean friendliness. We need to prove that humanity is capable of understanding and responding correctly." Alina turned to her crew. "Prepare a response. Not with weapons, but with data, logic, and observations. We'll show them that humans are intelligent, adaptable, and resilient. That's our edge." As they prepared the response, the anomaly pulsed stronger, and another fleet appeared on sensors, drifting near the predicted zone. This time, Alina ordered the Vanguard to maintain a precise distance and activate every sensor. The fleet shimmered under the energy field for a few moments, then vanished, just like the others. But this time, the probe recorded a stronger signal, one that seemed almost like a direct acknowledgement. The intelligence was aware of their presence, aware of their efforts to communicate. Dr. Chen studied the patterns closely. "Commander, the sequence is changing in response to our probe. It's like a conversation, but mathematical. They are trying to engage us." Alina's eyes gleamed. "Then we engage. Let's show them what humans can do." Using the ship's AI and Dr. Chen's translations, the crew crafted a series of responses. Simple mathematical sequences, logical deductions and patterns that demonstrated reasoning beyond basic computation. Each message was sent carefully through the probe's transmitter. Hours turned into a day as the Vanguard and the intelligence exchanged signals. The crew worked tirelessly, yet morale remained high. They felt the thrill of discovery, the pride of representing humanity. Even Lieutenant Silva, usually reserved and cautious, could not hide a smile as the intelligence responded with increasingly complex patterns. "Commander," Dr. Chen said, I think they are impressed. The patterns are evolving. They are testing our creativity now, not just our logic. Alina nodded, a sense of determination growing within her. Humanity had always been defined by creativity, adaptability, and courage. This intelligence had underestimated them, but they would not be underestimated for long. Suddenly, the main screen flashed with a visual anomaly. A faint outline of a small human ship appeared within the energy field. It was one of the fleets that had disappeared earlier. The crew held their breath as the ship slowly materialized, unharmed, but with its crew unconscious. Alina's heart raced. Prepare a recovery team immediately. Bring them aboard. We need to know what happened to them. The recovery team moved quickly. The unconscious crew members were brought aboard and given medical attention. Slowly, they began to regain consciousness, but they had no memory of the time spent within the anomaly. Dr. Chen examined them carefully. It's as if they were in a controlled environment entirely removed from our space. Their memories are suppressed or wiped, but physiologically they are unharmed. This was not a hostile act, it was observation. Alina exhaled slowly. Then our next step is clear. We need to prove ourselves further. Humans are not just capable, they are remarkable in ways that even this intelligence may not expect. The crew began to brainstorm. They simulated scenarios of fleet maneuvers, creative problem-solving, and rapid decision-making. Every action was designed to show adaptability, intuition, and ingenuity, the traits that made humans unique. Lieutenant Silva leaned back in his chair. It's strange. We've faced aliens in simulations before, but this is different. They aren't attacking us. They are evaluating us. And somehow I feel we are doing well. Alina smiled slightly. We are. Humanity has always faced challenges, often against the impossible, and every time we have risen above. This is no different. We'll show them that we are resourceful, courageous, and ready for whatever the universe has to offer. Days passed as the Vanguard continued its observations. The anomaly pulsed and shimmered like a living entity, responding to human messages and actions. Each exchange brought new revelations. Small hints of intelligence, subtle acknowledgement, and patterns that suggested curiosity and study. Dr. Chen's voice broke the silence one evening. Commander, I've been analyzing the patterns. I think we're ready for direct contact. Not physical, but communication, and understanding. We can send a sequence that demonstrates human reasoning, creativity, and ethics, something that proves humanity is unique. Alina's eyes brightened. Do it. This is our chance to show that humans are not just survivors. We are thinkers, innovators, and explorers. This is what makes us special. The crew worked together, combining mathematics, logic, and human insight into a single, coherent message. It was transmitted carefully through the probe and into the anomaly. The energy field shimmered and pulsed more brightly than ever before, almost as if it were alive. Then a sudden calm settled over the ship. The pulse of the anomaly slowed. The shimmering waves softened, and for the first time a faint outline appeared within the energy field. Not a threat, not destruction, but a presence. Alina's voice was steady yet filled with awe. They are listening. They understand. Humanity has been noticed. For the first time, the crew felt hope mixed with pride. Humanity had faced the unknown, confronted a mystery that defied logic, and responded with courage, creativity, and intelligence. They had shown that humans were capable of more than mere survival. They could inspire, communicate, and leave an impression on an intelligence far beyond their comprehension. Alina looked out at the stars once more. Somewhere within that shimmering curtain was a presence, curious, observant, and intelligent. And now humanity had made its mark. They were no longer passive. They were participants in a larger cosmic stage, ready to prove their worth. The Vanguard continued to hover near the anomaly, its crew vigilant, determined, and united. They had taken the first step into a conversation that could change humanity's place in the universe forever. Alina leaned back in her chair, a sense of pride and responsibility filling her chest. The fleets were gone but not lost. The intelligence was aware, watching, and curious. And humans, as always, were ready to rise to the challenge. The universe was vast, mysterious, and full of wonders. But one thing was certain. Humanity would face it with courage, ingenuity, and an unbreakable spirit. Commander Alina Rourke stood on the observation deck of the Vanguard. watching the shimmering anomaly pulse gently in the distance. The energy curtain stretched across space like a living, breathing wall, and for the first time it felt less threatening and more aware. "Commander," Lieutenant Tarek Silva said from the console, "the anomaly is responding again. The signals are more complex this time. They're almost like a language." Alina nodded. "Dr. Chen, what do you make of it?" Dr. Leora Chen, the science officer, tapped her console thoughtfully. "It's definitely intelligent, Commander. The pulses are patterned, evolving, and reactive. It's not random. They are testing our understanding and perhaps preparing to communicate directly." Alina's eyes narrowed. "Then we need to be ready. If this is the intelligence behind the disappearing fleets, we cannot fail to make a good impression. Humanity's future could depend on it." The crew worked tirelessly to prepare a response. Using the probe, they sent a carefully designed sequence of mathematical logic, basic physics principles, and simple patterns of human reasoning. Every step was meant to show that humans were capable, clever, and capable of problem-solving under pressure. Hours passed. The anomaly shimmered and twisted as it received their messages. Then suddenly a faint outline appeared within the energy curtain. It was subtle at first, like a mirage in space, but gradually a more solid shape formed. Dr. Chen gasped. "Commander, it's a form. Not biological as we know it, but intelligent. Something created entirely from energy responding to us." Alina felt a mixture of awe and tension. This was it, the first true contact. Humanity was about to meet an intelligence that could manipulate space itself, one far beyond their technology and understanding. "Open a channel," Alina ordered. "Let's see if we can communicate directly." The ship's AI calibrated a series of energy pulses to mirror the patterns of the anomaly, effectively sending a greeting. A moment of silence followed, and then the anomaly pulsed back in a more complex sequence. Dr. Chen analyzed the response. "It's a reply, Commander. They are acknowledging us, and I think they understand the concept of communication." Alina straightened in her chair. "Prepare a more advanced sequence. This time we'll include concepts of human culture, cooperation, exploration, curiosity, problem-solving. Let them see what makes humans unique." The crew worked together, combining mathematics, logic, and representations of human creativity into the signal. It was a careful balance, too simple, and the intelligence might not recognize it as meaningful. Too complex, and it could be misunderstood. Once transmitted, the anomaly pulsed brightly, sending waves of energy that rippled across the surrounding space. Then, in a moment that made every crew member hold their breath, the energy curtain parted slightly, revealing the familiar shape of a human fleet. 12 ships hovered silently, unharmed but clearly transported here for observation. Alina's voice was calm but firm. "Prepare a recovery plan. We need to bring the crews aboard safely and assess their condition." The recovery teams moved quickly, bringing the unconscious crew members aboard the Vanguard. Slowly, they began to awaken. They remembered nothing of where they had been or what had happened, but physically they were unharmed. Dr. Chen examined them closely. "Commander, it's clear now. The anomaly is not hostile. These fleets were observed, tested, and then returned. The intelligence has been evaluating human responses, capabilities, and decision-making." Alina's mind raced. "Then it's a test. They want to see if humanity can adapt, reason, and survive under unknown conditions. That's why the fleets vanished without damage. They were never the target. They were the experiment." The crew nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. Humanity had been challenged, observed, and now had the chance to prove itself. Suddenly, the anomaly pulsed again, stronger this time. A sequence of energy waves more intricate than anything before streamed toward the Vanguard. Dr. Chen's console beeped furiously as she analyzed the patterns. "Commander, this is a challenge," she said slowly. "The intelligence wants us to solve a problem. They're not attacking us, they're testing our reasoning, creativity, and teamwork. This is the next stage." Alina's eyes narrowed with determination. "Then we accept the challenge. Humanity has faced the impossible before. We will do it again." The intelligence presented the task subtly, a series of energy distortions mimicking a complex spatial puzzle. Ships would have to maneuver through simulated gravitational traps, avoid invisible obstacles, and coordinate precise movements. Each misstep could have resulted in disaster if this were not a test. Alina assembled her crew. "This is not a drill," she said firmly. We must show them what humans are capable of. We rely on intuition, creativity, and teamwork, qualities no AI can replicate perfectly. We will navigate this challenge together. The Vanguard and its fleet moved carefully into the simulation zone. The energy pulses formed shifting corridors of light, bending space subtly, testing their understanding of physics and coordination. The human crews worked seamlessly, anticipating each movement, correcting for unexpected distortions and using ingenuity to overcome obstacles. Lieutenant Silva guided one of the smaller ships through a particularly tricky sequence. "Commander, this path seems impossible. The AI calculations fail here. But if we adjust the trajectory manually..." He executed a bold maneuver and the ship slipped through the obstacle safely. Alina watched, impressed. That's the human edge, intuition and improvisation. "Keep going." The crews continued, solving each challenge, demonstrating resourcefulness that no AI or pre-programmed system could predict. Every successful maneuver sent pulses back toward the anomaly, and the energy responded, shifting in a way that suggested approval or acknowledgement. Hours passed. The human fleet navigated the final obstacle, a swirling distortion that required precise timing and cooperation among multiple ships. Alina coordinated their movements, giving careful instructions while allowing the captains to make independent decisions. Finally, the last ship passed through the anomaly without incident. The energy curtain pulsed brightly, then slowly stabilized. The challenge was complete. Dr. Chen exhaled with relief. "Commander, they've accepted our response. It's over." Alina nodded, though she remained vigilant. "Not over, Dr. Chen. This is only the beginning. Humanity has been noticed, and now we must continue to prove ourselves worthy of trust and understanding." The intelligence, once distant and mysterious, now seemed less like an unknowable force and more like an entity, capable of recognizing value, reasoning, and adaptability. Humans had shown courage, ingenuity, and cooperation, the qualities that defined them. Alina reflected on the fleets that had disappeared, now returned safely. Each crew member represented the resilience and resourcefulness of humanity. No technology alone could achieve what they had accomplished. Their thinking, intuition, and creativity had made the difference. For the first time, a sense of hope spread through the Vanguard. Humanity was not merely observed, they were respected. They had proven that even in the face of unknown intelligence and unimaginable phenomena, humans could rise to challenges, adapt, and succeed. The anomaly pulsed once more, softly this time, as if acknowledging their achievement. Then gradually the shimmering curtain began to fade, leaving the human fleets floating safely in the familiar blackness of space. Alina looked out at the stars. Somewhere beyond, intelligence waited, aware of humanity's courage, creativity, and determination. This first contact had not been hostile. It had been a test. And humans had passed. She turned to her crew. "Today we've shown that humanity is capable of facing the unknown, thinking creatively and acting courageously. This is who we are. This is what makes us human. And the universe has taken notice." The crew nodded, pride and determination in their eyes. The fleets were safe, the intelligence had acknowledged them, and humanity had proven that even in the vast, mysterious cosmos, they were not helpless. Commander Alina Rourke knew that the journey was far from over. The anomaly had opened a door to something larger, something greater than Earth alone, but she also knew that humans were ready. Courage, creativity, adaptability, these were their weapons, their strength, their identity, and somewhere beyond the veil of energy, an intelligence watched, learning as humans had learned, and perhaps preparing for the next step in this extraordinary encounter. For now, humanity had made its mark. The fleets had disappeared and returned. The mystery had revealed not danger, but opportunity, and humans, as always, would rise to meet it. The Vanguard floated silently among the recovered fleets, the void of space around them vast and quiet. Yet Commander Alina Rourke could feel the tension in the air. Humanity had passed the first test, but something told her this encounter was far from over. Dr. Leora Chen tapped her console thoughtfully. "Commander, the anomaly's energy patterns are changing again. The sequences we received suggest another challenge. More complex than before." Alina's eyes narrowed. "Then we prepare. Humanity has shown capability, but now we need to show creativity, adaptability, and teamwork. We cannot underestimate them or ourselves." Lieutenant Tarek Silva leaned over his console. Commander, the previous test involved navigation and problem-solving under pressure. This one, it seems more abstract. They're testing decision-making and coordination across multiple fleets simultaneously. It's like a simulation of strategy, timing, and adaptability. Alina nodded. Exactly. And humans have a way of thinking outside the box. That's what makes us unique. Let's show them. The intelligence had set up a new challenge. Energy distortions appeared around the fleets, forming invisible fields, shifting gravity pockets and regions where sensors behaved unpredictably. The fleets had to coordinate precisely to navigate safely, maintain formation, and react to sudden environmental changes, all while ensuring the safety of the ships and crew. Commander, Silva said, the AI is calculating probabilities for optimal paths, but some scenarios are conflicting. If we follow AI guidance blindly, we might fail. Alina's lips pressed into a thin line. Then we improvise. Human intuition can see patterns that even AI cannot predict. Trust your instincts, trust your training, and trust each other. The fleets moved cautiously into the distorted regions. Ships swerved gracefully around invisible gravitational fields, their thrusters adjusting constantly. Sensors flickered as the distortion shifted, creating illusions and false readings. Dr. Chen's voice rang out over the comm system. Commander, one of the outer ships is caught in a gravitational eddy. AI suggests withdrawal, but we can calculate a manual trajectory to rescue them. It will require split-second timing and coordination. Alina made a quick decision. Do it, we won't leave anyone behind. Humans adapt. Humans save each other. The rescue maneuver was precise. Using manual calculations and human intuition, the fleet adjusted positions, timing, and thrusts perfectly. The ship was pulled safely out of the eddy, its crew unhurt. The energy patterns outside pulsed as if acknowledging the success. Silence fell for a moment. Then the anomaly pulsed again, sending subtle waves across space. Dr. Chen studied the readings. Commander, they're observing how we solve problems under uncertainty, how we improvise when logic alone isn't enough. Alina nodded. That's our strength. We don't just follow algorithms. We think, create, and adapt. That's what they are learning. That's what makes us human. Hours passed as the fleets faced increasingly complex scenarios. Some required coordination among multiple ships to form energy patterns that stabilized distortions. Others demanded rapid problem-solving under time pressure, forcing crews to act on intuition and experience rather than raw calculations. Lieutenant Silva guided one of the smaller ships through a narrow energy corridor. Commander, sensors say it's impossible. AI predicts collision in 5 seconds. But there's a safe path if we adjust speed incrementally and use manual alignment. Alina's eyes gleamed. Do it. That's the human edge, seeing solutions others cannot. The maneuver succeeded flawlessly. Across the fleets, ships moved with precision, improvising and adapting to changing conditions. The anomaly responded with soft pulses of energy, as if encouraging them forward. Dr. Chen's voice trembled with excitement. Commander, they're communicating more directly now. The pulses seem to form patterns that mimic our own sequences. It's almost as if they're interacting, learning from us in real time. Alina's heart swelled with pride. Then we keep going. Humans thrive when challenges are hardest. That's why we've survived and excelled. That's why we're here, and why we will continue to rise. Suddenly, the anomaly shifted violently. A massive distortion formed in the center of the fleets, pulling energy toward it like a whirlpool. Ships struggled against sudden gravitational shifts. Sensors failed intermittently, and even the most experienced crews hesitated. Alina remained calm. Focus, trust your instincts. Use teamwork. Humans can adapt to chaos, and that's exactly what we must do now. The fleets adjusted, relying on human coordination and improvisation. Small teams communicated constantly, predicting each other's moves, correcting course, and maintaining formation. Slowly, they stabilized the ships, navigating the distortion safely. Dr. Chen exhaled sharply. Commander, and we did it. Every fleet passed through without damage. And the anomaly, it's stabilizing. They are reacting to our success. Alina allowed herself a small smile. This is why humans endure. We can face uncertainty, adapt, and succeed where logic alone fails. We are creative, resilient, and brave. The energy patterns of the anomaly began to shimmer more clearly. Shapes formed briefly, abstract luminous forms that hinted at intelligence and curiosity. The message was unmistakable. Humanity had proven its capability, ingenuity, and resilience. Lieutenant Silva shook his head in wonder. "Commander, they're..." Impressed. "The patterns are almost celebratory, like acknowledgement rather than observation." Alina looked out at the fleets, her crew working seamlessly. "We have made our point. Humans are not just survivors. We are thinkers, innovators, and problem solvers. That is our strength, and it cannot be replicated." Even Dr. Chen's usual calm demeanor was replaced with awe. "Commander, I think they are ready for direct understanding. We've proven ourselves in navigation, coordination, and problem solving. They are curious about what humans can achieve with creativity and collaboration." Alina's mind raced. The intelligence had been observing, testing, and evaluating humans. Each challenge had highlighted traits that no AI or simple computation could replicate. Humanity's ingenuity, courage, and teamwork had shown through. "Prepare a final message," Alina said. "We will demonstrate human creativity in a way that cannot be simulated. Art, ideas, cooperation, and ethics. Let them see who we are, not just what we can do." The crew worked together, compiling sequences, representations, and simulations that displayed human problem-solving, creativity, and teamwork. They sent the message through the anomaly, waiting for a response. The energy curtain pulsed brighter than ever, forming shifting patterns of light that danced across space. Slowly, the anomaly coalesced, revealing the faint outlines of shapes resembling ships but unlike any human design. They seemed aware, intelligent, and responsive. Dr. Chen's voice was filled with awe. "Commander, they are responding directly. They recognize our capabilities. They are communicating appreciation." Alina's lips curved into a small, proud smile. "Then humanity has made its mark. We faced uncertainty, adapted to impossible scenarios, and demonstrated what makes us human. Intelligence, courage, creativity, and cooperation. These are our tools, and we wield them well." The anomaly pulsed one last time, bright and steady, then slowly began to fade. The fleets floated safely, the void of space returning to calm. Humanity had passed the tests, proven their ingenuity, and earned acknowledgement from a presence far beyond their understanding. Alina took a deep breath, feeling pride in her crew and in humanity itself. "Today we've shown that humans are not just observers. We are participants, thinkers, and problem solvers. The universe has taken notice, and we are ready for whatever comes next." Lieutenant Silva nodded. "Commander, the anomaly is stabilizing. No threats detected. All fleets are safe. And I think..." "They're impressed." Alina gazed out at the stars, reflecting on the journey so far. Humanity had faced the unknown, confronted a mysterious intelligence, and risen to challenges that no one could have predicted. They had relied on intuition, creativity, and teamwork, the qualities that made them truly special. The fleets, once lost, were now a symbol of human resilience. The anomaly, once threatening and mysterious, was now a partner in understanding, a doorway to possibilities beyond imagination. Alina knew this was only the beginning. Humanity had proven its edge, but the universe was vast and filled with mysteries. Each success was a step toward deeper understanding, and each challenge a chance to show the spirit of humans. As the Vanguard and its fleets drifted safely in the calm of space, Alina felt a sense of hope. The tests had revealed the truth. Humans, in all their ingenuity, courage, and creativity, were capable of meeting challenges that no algorithm or pre-programmed AI could solve. They were ready for whatever lay ahead. Somewhere in the vastness, the intelligence observed, curious, and impressed. Humanity had proven its uniqueness, and the stars, once distant and silent, now seemed a little closer, filled with promise, discovery, and recognition. Alina straightened in her chair, resolute. "We are human," she said quietly. "We adapt, we create, and we rise. The universe will learn that, and so will they." The morning began quietly on Earth, as if the planet itself held its breath. Cities glimmered under pale sunlight, and traffic flowed along the streets in its usual rhythmic chaos. Humans went about their daily lives unaware that this day would change everything. For decades, Earth had been struggling under pressure from alien powers. The galaxy, vast and merciless, had treated humanity as weak, expendable, and insignificant. People remembered the early encounters with alien civilizations, the first messages of friendship that quickly turned into warnings and rules. Humanity had tried to follow those rules to survive peacefully, but survival had been expensive. Resources were scarce. Colonies on distant planets barely managed to exist, under constant threat from raiders and enforcers who worked for distant empires. Every day humans were reminded of their place, small, vulnerable, and alone. On one remote human colony at the edge of the Orion Belt, alarms sounded before sunrise. The colony's communication towers blinked red, signaling an incoming fleet. Alien ships, sleek in silver, approached like predators circling their prey. Humans had faced raiders before. They had prepared, reinforced, and planned. But no preparation could have readied them for what would come next. The raiders descended, firing energy cannons that lit the sky with violent streaks. Buildings shook and the ground trembled as explosions tore through supply depots. Panic swept the colony. Families ran for shelters, children clinging to their parents' hands. The raiders moved with precision, efficient and deadly, taking what they wanted without hesitation. Commander Ilara Vance, a veteran of Human Defense Forces, watched the assault from the control tower. Her heart pounded, but her mind remained sharp. She had trained for these moments, but she had never felt the depth of anger rising inside her. These invaders had taken so much from humanity: homes, resources, dignity, and now they threatened her people. She gritted her teeth. "No more," she whispered. The words felt strange, almost foreign, but they carried a strange power. Around her, her officers exchanged uncertain glances. Humanity had always been cautious, restrained. They had never struck first against superior forces. But today, that caution would end. With a wave of her hand, Ilara gave the order to counterattack. The colony's defenses, though smaller than the raiders' fleet, activated with surprising efficiency. Energy shields flared across the buildings, and automated turrets fired in carefully calculated arcs. But this time, humans did not merely defend, they adapted. Engineers ran to the power cores, improvising ways to boost energy output. Pilots scrambled in small, fast ships weaving through the alien fire. Hackers tapped into alien communication networks, confusing the raiders and turning their technology against them. The colony had no choice but to innovate, and innovation was humanity's hidden strength. For the first time in centuries, humans were not cowed. They struck back with relentless creativity. The raiders' formation faltered as humans exploited every weakness. Small ships darted through gaps in shields, sabotaging larger vessels. Explosions rocked the sky, sending silver debris spinning into space. The humans were outnumbered, outgunned, but they were unafraid. As the battle raged, civilians joined in ways no one expected. Mechanics mounted improvised weapons on transport vehicles. Miners used drilling machines to cut through walls and create traps. Farmers set fields ablaze, forcing enemy troops to retreat. The energy of desperation, anger, and courage combined into a force that the raiders could not anticipate. By mid-morning, the unexpected happened. The alien fleet began to withdraw. Ships turned back toward the void, damaged and confused. Human shouts filled the colony as people cheered, hugging one another. Victory had come, not through numbers or technology, but through determination and willpower. Humanity had shown that they could fight back. News of the rebellion spread like wildfire. Across Earth, screens lit up with images of destroyed alien ships and triumphant human defenders. People in other colonies watched in disbelief and growing excitement. Could humanity really stand against the galaxy's strongest powers? For the first time, hope replaced fear. In government centers and research labs, leaders convened emergency meetings. Scientists explained that humans had discovered latent capabilities in their technology, methods of adaptation and improvisation that aliens had never expected. Military strategists calculated that the galaxy's assumption of human weakness had been entirely wrong. The world realized a dangerous truth. Humans had snapped. The word spread across communication networks. Snapped. It did not mean chaos, though. It meant resolve, focus, and unshakable will. Humanity had reached a point where survival was no longer enough. Humans would not just defend themselves. They would challenge the forces that had oppressed them for centuries. In distant colonies, young pilots and engineers read the reports with excitement. They began preparing. Ships were retrofitted, weapons were enhanced, and strategies were debated in every settlement. Even ordinary citizens joined the effort, volunteering to protect their homes and neighbors. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long, and that mistake would be remembered. Meanwhile, alien empires watched the events unfold from distant stars. Confusion turned to fear. No species in the galaxy had ever displayed such unpredictable ingenuity. The reports of humans defeating raiders with improvised tactics reached imperial councils, and arguments erupted. Some leaders argued for immediate retaliation. Others feared direct conflict. Humanity was no longer predictable. Commander Alara stood on the bridge of her flagship, looking at the horizon where alien ships had once threatened her colony. Her hands rested lightly on the control console, but her mind was sharp, alert. This was only the beginning. She knew that the galaxy would respond, but she also knew that humans had discovered a truth about themselves. They were unstoppable when cornered. She thought of her people, the farmers, the miners, the engineers, the children, and realized that this anger, this determination, was not born from hatred alone. It was born from survival, from the desire to protect what was theirs, and from the courage to rise when the world had expected them to fall. Humanity had snapped, and that snap carried a power no alien could ignore. As night fell over Earth, cities glowed with lights that seemed brighter than usual. People talked quietly of a new era, whispering the same word with awe: freedom. They had fought back once, but the fight had opened their eyes. Across colonies, across continents, humans prepared for the challenges ahead. Unknown to them, beyond the outer rim of the galaxy, intelligence agencies of alien empires scrambled to respond. Fleets were mobilized. Orders were sent. The word human began to carry fear in alien languages for the first time. For centuries, humans had been dismissed. Now they were a threat, and humanity did not yet know the full extent of its own potential. In every workshop, lab, and hangar, humans tinkered, tested, and trained. They did not just repair what had been broken, they improved it, innovated beyond expectation. They shared knowledge, taught each other skills, and formed bonds that strengthened them against the galaxy's challenges. The first day of humanity's snap ended quietly on Earth. But across the stars, ripples of change began to spread. Colonies that had once cowered now looked outward with bold eyes. Humans were no longer victims. They were warriors, thinkers, and survivors. They were united in a purpose greater than any one person, the survival and ascendance of their species. And somewhere deep in space, alien leaders whispered among themselves, realizing a terrible truth: humanity had awakened, and nothing would ever be the same again. The galaxy had underestimated humans for centuries. That mistake would cost them dearly. The galaxy had always looked down on humanity, labeling humans as weak, short-lived, and disorganized. Alien historians spoke of them as a species that barely survived their own planet's challenges, let alone the vast dangers of space. But those historians had never seen a human under pressure, never witnessed the spark of desperation ignite into unyielding determination. After the rebellion on the Orion Belt colony, the ripple effect was immediate. Across human settlements, fleets began mobilizing. Engineers worked around the clock to enhance ships, turning ordinary transport vessels into agile warcraft. Pilots trained in new maneuvers, using every advantage of speed and unpredictability. Scientists unlocked hidden potential in energy systems, creating weapons that aliens had dismissed as impossible. Commander Alara Vance stood aboard the flagship Resolve, a vessel retrofitted in record time. Its hull bore the marks of battle, yet it gleamed with the pride of innovation. Alara reviewed the fleet's plans. Their next targets were supply outposts scattered across nearby star systems. These outposts fueled raiders, maintained alien control, and represented a first step into the galaxy at large. "We are outnumbered," she said to her officers, "but we are never outwitted. We strike fast, we adapt faster, and we do not stop. Remember that always." Her words were not empty encouragement. Humans had proven that speed, creativity, and unpredictability could turn the tide of battle. Every fleet commander and pilot understood that the galaxy expected them to fail. That expectation became their greatest advantage. The first raid of this new campaign targeted the Quran supply hub, a heavily guarded station in a dense asteroid field. Alien engineers believed the natural hazards of the field would protect them, but humans saw opportunity. Ships darted among the asteroids, using gravitational pull and asteroid trajectories to avoid detection. Human hackers infiltrated communication networks, feeding false coordinates to the station's defenses. When the station raised shields, human ships had already moved to flanking positions. Small, nimble fighters disabled turrets while larger vessels focused energy beams to breach the main supply bay. In hours, what was considered an impenetrable station fell into human hands. Victory was not simply about destruction. It was about ingenuity. Human crews salvaged alien technology and repaired it to enhance their own systems. Energy weapons were adjusted for greater precision. Propulsion units were optimized for speed, and shields were strengthened by adaptive algorithms developed by Earth's brightest minds. Every conquest made humans stronger, faster, and smarter. Across other sectors, stories spread of humans turning ordinary tools into extraordinary weapons. A cargo ship modified with magnetic pulse generators disabled a squadron of alien drones. A mining rig repurposed as a mobile artillery platform leveled an orbital refinery. The galaxy had never seen such rapid adaptation. Humans did not wait for perfection. They created opportunity from necessity. Meanwhile, alien commanders struggled to respond. Their fleets were designed to fight predictable enemies, to follow structured commands and rely on their technological advantage. Humans ignored conventions, breaking patterns that had been effective for millennia. Every engagement required new tactics, and even the most disciplined alien forces were caught off guard. In the midst of chaos, civilians played a critical role. Scientists in orbiting labs provided real-time calculations for fleet maneuvers. Hackers on remote colonies disrupted alien navigation satellites. Engineers repaired damaged ships mid-flight, ensuring minimal losses. Even ordinary people on distant worlds contributed by organizing logistics, building weapons, and supporting defenses. Humanity had transformed into a unified force, every individual a crucial part of the collective effort. On the alien side, panic began to spread. Some factions called for immediate retreat, while others demanded overwhelming retaliation. Yet none had an answer for the speed and adaptability of human strategy. One by one, small outposts fell, and rumors of humanity's unstoppable rise traveled faster than fleets could move. Alien politicians whispered about humans in fear, using words that once described pests and weeds. In the colonies, excitement mixed with determination. Young pilots, some barely old enough to vote, practiced daring maneuvers in simulated asteroid fields. Engineers experimented with new propulsion systems. Scientists discovered ways to enhance human endurance during long space missions. Every success fueled morale, and every setback became a lesson, not a defeat. Alara observed this new energy with pride. She watched as humans who had once been passive citizens became fearless leaders, strategists, and warriors. One young pilot, barely 18, executed a maneuver that destroyed an enemy blockade ship while saving an entire supply convoy. Another engineer devised a magnetic shield that could absorb alien energy blasts and redistribute them as offensive attacks. "This is only the beginning," Alara said quietly to herself. "We are no longer fighting to survive. We are fighting to take our place in the galaxy." As the weeks passed, humanity's influence grew beyond mere military victories. News of liberated planets spread, inspiring oppressed civilizations to take action. Some aliens who had once enforced dominance over humans now sought alliance, recognizing the strength and resilience of their new allies. Trust was cautious, but necessity made even the most wary alien species consider joining forces. Humanity's expansion was not without challenges. Supply lines were stretched, battles became more frequent, and unknown threats lurked in the outer systems. Yet every challenge strengthened human resolve. Losses were mourned but never wasted. Lessons learned were immediately applied, making the next engagement more precise, more effective, and more daring. Communication networks buzzed with information. Colonists sent updates, engineers shared schematics, and pilots recorded battle data. Every human on every world became a node in a vast, interconnected network of knowledge. The galaxy had underestimated humans, but humans were learning faster than anyone could predict. In one particular sector, a fleet commanded by Alara encountered a cluster of enemy vessels guarding an important hypergate. The aliens were confident. Humans were vastly outnumbered. Yet, using a combination of hacking, deception, and rapid maneuvering, humans disabled the command ship without triggering alarm. The hypergate opened for human use, allowing supply fleets and reinforcements to travel instantaneously to distant colonies. The victory was celebrated, but Alara reminded her crews, this was just one battle in a much larger war. As months passed, humans established a pattern. They struck quickly, adapted faster, and never allowed themselves to be pinned down. Colonies were fortified, technology improved, and morale remained high. Humans had become unpredictable, relentless, and unstoppable. The galaxy was starting to take notice, and not all were pleased. Alien empires, once confident in their superiority, now faced a new reality. Reports of human victories reached distant capitals, where officials debated strategies, sometimes shouting over one another in fear. Some proposed alliances with humans, hoping to survive their wrath. Others prepared for mass retaliation, unaware that fear itself had already given humans an advantage. In the heart of human territory, people lived with a renewed sense of purpose. Farmers knew that their crops might feed fleets on distant planets. Scientists understood that every experiment could save lives in battle. Engineers realized that their innovations could tip the balance of war. Humanity had discovered something more powerful than technology: unity. Every human, from the youngest child to the oldest veteran, felt the strength of being part of something larger. At night, across colonies and cities, humans looked up at the stars with hope, courage, and determination. For the first time in history, they were no longer prey in a galaxy filled with predators. They had snapped, yes, but that snap was the awakening of power, intelligence, and creativity. Humanity had unleashed itself, and nothing would ever stop it now. And so, as the galaxy stirred with confusion and fear, humans prepared for the next step. They would continue to strike, to adapt, and to expand. Every battle won, every outpost liberated, every alien fleet outwitted was proof of a simple truth. Humanity could no longer be ignored. They had snapped, and the universe would learn that underestimating humans was a mistake no one could afford to make.